One thing I can say, just to kind of, spread my knowledge, is if you're really trying to do this like music thing, even if it's just a hobby, or if you really are trying to make this your career, or just something that you want to get paid for, you just got to have consistency. You got to be able to not only, you don't want to be putting music out there. If you're an artist, you don't want to put music out there that's just, halfway mixed, and you just kind of want to pump shit out there, because quality will always be quantity. You know what I mean? If you got a tight song and it's mixed like so nice, and it'll definitely be played a lot more than all of your other songs will be played. So that, and just consistency. Nowadays everything's digital, so social media really has a big role into people get how people get noticed and found and stuff like that. So you don't even got to put a post on your Instagram's page, even if you just put a story, but something that just shows you always in there, like you want to still be in the circle, in the mix. So always just put your face out there. Don't be scared to try something new. Don't be scared to take a risk and try something that you feel like you may fail at, because you'll never know unless you're gonna do it.
Alright, Central Coast fam, we're here with Tech. He's from Salinas, California.
Spotted.
Worked with some big names and mixed and mastered. He's also an artist. And yeah, what do you want to say to the people?
I appreciate you having me for this interview, and yeah, man, if anybody needs mixing and mastering, you holler at me on Instagram, tq.iv, or you can just email us at salinsrecordingstudio@gmail, and we'll hook you up, quality over quantity.
So let me know, man, how this all start. How did you start, becoming an artist, mixing and mastering? Where does the journey start off at?
So the journey started off, as an artist, I was a kid, learned how to play 5 instruments. So the first thing I learned was the drums, then after that it was the violin, the trumpet, the guitar, and the piano. So, I always try to sing, but once I started actually recording and hearing myself, like in my younger days, I couldn't sing for shit. So I started rapping, was doing my rapping thing for a long time all throughout high school. Figured out that I wanted to pursue my passion for music. And so when I was 20, I moved out to LA, went to the LA recording school. That's how I got certified as an audio engineer and a certified Pro Tools audio engineer. And from there it just started jumping off. I started networking with a lot of people, artists from Ty Dolla, Burner. Out there when I was living in LA, when I moved out here, I started just messing with everybody. Like a lot of people out there from the Bay, the whole Biz Nation and stuff like that.
Yeah, Ty Dolla Sign, Burner, those are some big names. How'd you network with them at first? Was it just like someone hitting you up, or being in the studio at the right time? How'd that come about?
For Ty Dolla, I worked with a lot of artists out of Slauson, out there in Compton.
Nipsey.
And even I got some of my music passed to Nipsey too, and got word back from him that he enjoyed some of my music too. And I used to go out there and perform actually in Slauson for like the 4th of July block parties. I used to go out there in the middle of the stage and just like the only Mexican kid out there, and it was popping. But I always got show love. And so that's how I started working with Ty. When I moved out here, I started going to the New Heights studio with Cisco in Castroville. That's how I started linking up with not linking up, but being able to network and get a lot of opportunities to work with artists such as Burner and stuff like that from the Bay. And it's all just network. Like the people I knew somebody that knew this person, and then they just figured, work with me, try to give me a shot, and so that's how it all worked out, bro.
Yeah, because networking nowadays, it seems like, back then you couldn't just DM somebody's, Instagram or Twitter and get a response.
When I was living out there in LA, that's when Instagram and all that stuff really started getting big, And so it was even like, I didn't even utilize that still. I was still trying to hit people on MySpace and shit like that, that's how long ago that was. But social media definitely had, it has a big role in how I conduct my business and communicate and network and stuff now. Back then, it wasn't like that. You would have to just be word of mouth.
Yeah. Do you say most of your new clients come from hitting you up on social media? Or you say it's more like just from
about 90%.
Word of mouth. Okay, 90%. Yeah, that's huge. It's huge.
Hell yeah.
So, what do you think about growing up in Salinas? How it shaped you? Become the artist and engineer you are now. Is there any certain people that kind of kept you going, or certain things that kept you, in the game?
Not necessarily just anybody, but everybody actually out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody always, I'm cool with damn near everybody. I worked with damn near almost everybody. Not everybody out here in the Central Coast, but there's a lot of people. And man, like the people out here are just consistent in being that we're cool as friends and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That really just keeps me like that gives me my drive to just keep going and helping people out. I'm trying to really like pass along my knowledge, and if I'm able to make somebody's song sound like if you put on the radio next to Beyonce or Jay-Z or somebody big, and it sounds exactly the same as far as quality wise, and it's gonna help somebody get out of a situation that they may be in, or just capitalize on opportunities, and that's what I'm trying to do.
And for all the people out there, all the artists that are watching, you let them know how important an engineer is to a song. How it makes the final product sound. What exactly you do.
Behind every great song, I'll tell you, behind every good or great song, there's an awesome engineer, that made that happen. And getting your song mixed and mastered by a professional audio engineer, man, is big. It's key. There is ways that you can get your music to sound, a little bit more clear, but it's really important to get a good engineer and that knows what he's doing to be able to mix and master your music, because he's gonna make it just be from just a regular song, and they could just enhance it into like a hit for you. For sure.
Do you think going to school for that, right away just upped your game and upped your skill level? And
not right away, because I did fuck up a lot of mixes for people when I first started. It just takes time. You got to be able to train your ear to know what you want to actually hear, what it's supposed to sound like. So it does take time, because like I said, you just got to train your ear. You got to get used to hearing things, and you got to be able to analyze music and dissect music. And one bad thing about that is that you'll never be able to listen to a song regular ever again in your life. Every time I hear a song, I'm just like, okay,
I would have done it this way, I would have done it that way.
Or just not even that, I'm listening to how the song was mixed. Like, damn, they okay, these hi-hats are really popping instead of just being bright. Now they got a little like kick to it, like the kick drum has to it now, and they're kind of the same. So like I dissect music now when I listen to it. I dissect the vocals, the instruments, the whole mix in general.
And you're Pro Tools certified. Can you tell people, how you get Pro Tools certified? What's the process of that?
Pro Tools certified, in order to do that, you got to pay to take the test. And when I was going to LA recording school, they give you 3 chances to do that, and so they was included in the tuition. But after your third try, if you don't pass it, then you got to start coming out of pocket to pay. And I think it's like, well, when I was there, I haven't checked since I did it, but I think it was about $150 to $200 every time you want to take a test.
And how do you get tested? Like, what do you get tested on?
They ask you to do certain key commands. They ask you to run the software without even using a mouse. They ask you to do certain things, and if you can do it within a timely manner, there's how you know you're doing it. Then, if you pass a test, and there's different tiers, I believe there's 5 tiers, and you just keep going all the way up. And you could be Pro Tools certified without reaching the top tier, because that one's like the masters of the masters. That one's pretty tough to accomplish. But I made it all the way up to the 4th tier.
Oh,
and
that's nice.
After that, my third try ran up, and so I had to come out of pocket. I was on the student budget, it wasn't gonna happen. But yeah, man, you could get Pro Tools certified and actually be able to get a job with like Avid, or if you wanted to, or whatnot.
You think, like you said, being on the student budget, how hard was it back then, making the connections, getting the songs in the studios? Sometimes maybe not having the money to like go and travel out or go to the studios you want to, making those connections. Was it hard to do that, or was it
to be able to get into the studio?
Yeah.
When I was at the school, it wasn't hard at all, because I was able to book a session for 4 hours at a time, and if there's another classmate that wanted to book a session with me, then we could do it 8 hours, And however many classmates that wanted to book it with me, then each person gets 4 hours. But if you're all together, then you just chilling there together. But yeah, booking a studio out there in LA is expensive, especially being out there in Hollywood, because everything's like a state of the art. studio
Competition's so
yet.
high.
But it is possible. It wasn't very difficult when I was at the school, but once I finished with the school, then you definitely had to come out of pocket unless you knew somebody that knew somebody, which in my case that was usually part of the deal. And so I used to go to studios and just meet up with all kinds of people, and not even knowing they would be there. You got celebrities in there chilling.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Do you think that's the biggest difference from being, born and raised in 831 to going to LA is being in the studio and seeing like, damn, it's a big name coming through right now, or like here, like next session's gonna be
network
YG, 40, whoever it is.
Network out there is crazy.
Mhm.
You go into any studio and you don't even know who's next door or who's gonna be at the studio before you, after you. And they're all celebrities, like all big name artists. They all live out there in LA for music wise, and film too. But yeah, it's crazy. You just run into everybody and anybody.
What's the craziest studio story you got? I know you got some crazy ones out there in LA.
Craziest studio session. Man,
Like this
everything. Yeah, let me think, because there's been a lot of situations. I usually just try to keep it all professional. But let me see. I would say probably like the most unexpected one was I was out there and I went to the Paramount recording studios right there off of, I want to say, Vine Street. We went and one of Diddy's artists, King Los. You guys know who King Los is?
I think I've heard that name before, not off the top of my head.
So I had went in there with my boy from LA, and we went in there and they was just like the first thing that happened when I went in there is they asked, there's a lady that worked there, she went in there, she's like, we're making a store run, anybody want anything? They got like 15 Hennessy bottles, and it's like they were just like blunt after blunt, and within like probably 30 minutes, bro, just at the studio I was just stupid lit and just like faded, and it was like a party, and fucking yeah, it was just funny. It was just like, it was the biggest like studio party I've ever been to, in like this big ass nice state of the art crazy studios. But as far as any like wild stories, I don't really have too many wild stories, because once they started like acting, like I'll just dip out of there, but like, all right, this ain't my fight, you know what I mean? Or this ain't my place to be.
100%. Do you think, you're artist and you do engineering, is it hard to find time, to make songs and then also mix? Like, what's the battle between that you kind of came to face?
So I've put my own music on pause for like the past 3 or 4 years, bro. Just because I've been so busy trying to do mixing and mastering, like I'm chasing the bag more than I'm chasing my original dream, But in a sense, that's how I've gotten better. That's how I've always been able to like up my game as far as mixing and mastering, because I'm doing this all the time, every day, all day. And like I'll have studio sessions. I show up at 10 o'clock in the morning out here, and I won't leave until about like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the evening. And the whole time I'm just in the studio staring at the screen, I'm just like trying to help the artist get his work done and shit like that. So it's definitely helped me out. Being able to try to record my own music is tough. Like after just having a long day like that, and with me, I like to be in the zone, bro. Like I like to be like nobody around me. I just want to be locked into the studio. I'll shut the door, turn the lights off, and just be me, the phone, and my computer. You know what I mean? And just like going to town. Like I don't want nobody fucking with my vibe, and so I don't really get to do that a lot after I work. You know what I mean? Because then we're shutting down the studio or that. I'm just too tired. I just want to go lay down. So it is tough to do it, but lately I have been getting back on my music game. I've been able to record and start doing hooks and stuff like that. But
dropping any songs soon?
Yeah, I'm working on an album right now, my new solo album, and it's called Halfway Dead.
Halfway Dead, I like the name.
And yeah, bro. So I'll be doing. Right now I got literally probably about like 14 tracks, but I'm probably not gonna put all of them on. I think I'm only gonna do about like 8 at the most, because like we were talking earlier, like the attention span like of everybody nowadays is short. Like if they ain't feeling in the first 5 seconds, it's gonna get skipped, or your album ain't even gonna get listened to.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make like every single song just jump straight to the point. You know what I mean?
All right, Central Coast. That was the interview with here Tech. He's done some big and great things, and I'm excited to see what you got in the future. I know you got some stuff cooking. I'm excited to see your album come out, and yeah, man, keep going, keep grinding.
I appreciate the opportunity too, man. I appreciate you guys sending me down and talking with me. And if anybody
definitely
out there, you know what I mean, if anybody needs any kind of knowledge, you guys got something you guys want to holler at me about, I give my knowledge, not all my knowledge is going to come out for free 99. But if you got a problem, technical issue, you know, you need some help. I'm not here trying to charge anybody to help out in that kind of way. So if anybody want to reach out to me, feel free to reach out to me. My email is techsounds@gmail.com, or you can holler at me on IG at teq.iv, and I'll be more than willing to help, you know, whoever wants to reach out to me.